Alright, I've been asked to give an update in terms of the harvest, so I'll do a tour around the gardens and let everybody know where we're at in terms of collecting all the things, etc. So the tomatoes are still going. They're starting to slow down, starting to show some evidence that their productivity is declining and the amount of vegetation is decreasing. But so the 6 plants that we've got that I'm showing here that produce cherry tomatoes were just absolutely awesome from about August on. Every day we can pick as many cherry tomatoes and eat them as we want. These are early tomatoes and they're almost done. So you can see there are some green ones here still. There's a few that are on the ripening side of things. Some that have split because of the amount of water that we got over the last few days. And you can see that there's parsley underneath that is still going very, very well. These are zebra variety, and again they are a little bit more productive than the early tomatoes that I was just showing you, but you can see that they're slowing down too. There are some that are ripening, some greens, but that's about it. Then we get to these are old varieties. An old variety that's quite large and very, very sweet once they ripen up. We seem to have run out of the ripened ones, so there's none of these that are available at this point. We've also been running into some rot, and apparently this is indicative of low calcium that the tomatoes need to actually ripen. And then we get into the Roma type, and there's some more rot. You can see I've been throwing the tomatoes down on the ground, the ones that are not suitable for eating, consumption, etc. Some of them we can actually salvage. Again, this is indication of the amount of rain that we've had. It's just swelled the tomato and split the skin as a consequence. So these are still pretty productive. You can see that there are a number that are starting to and I should probably pick that one up now because it's still pretty good, but you can see that the abscisic acid has been produced and it's starting to cause the tomatoes to drop off the vine when they're disturbed in any way. The beans are done. They've been done for a couple of weeks now, and the ones that you'll see on the vine still, so there's one, there's another one, we are leaving so that they can dry up, and as the vines themselves start to dry, these will dry up and we'll use them for seeds for next year. There are a number that have already gotten to that stage, and so we'll harvest those for seeds in the future. So these are green beans, and we have yellow beans. You can see that the yellow beans are a little further ahead than the green beans. Still some more. They're sitting under very, very heavy bush still. And there's the yellows that I was talking about. And as we move forward, we get to the purple variety. This purple variety has been absolutely gorgeous this year. I really like these beans. When you boil them, prepare them for eating, they're actually green, but they've got a nice fresh flavor to them. It's quite a nice treat. Swiss chard, we have harvested it several times, and you can see that the Swiss chard is continuing to grow, and so we'll probably get a couple more meals out of there yet. I like Swiss chard a lot. It can be used as a substitute or a variation on spinach, etc., used in the same ways. And on this side were peas, and you can see that I've pulled all the peas down, and they're combined with potato vines that you see on the ground in behind on the next row over. Cucumbers have been dead for quite a while. Here's a couple that are still hanging on, and they actually have cucumbers on them. Look at that. That's an English variety, and I think that's it for cucumbers. We're going to be doing a lot more of this. As you can see from the poles that we've used for the tomatoes, that is not a prime way of staking these materials. The beans have the same problem. We're going to go to the T-rails that you're seeing here, and we're going to go to a heavier version of the PVC piping that'll be strung in between for tomatoes, for beans, and for cucumbers as we move into next year. So we're looking forward to having an updated version for that. This is where the potatoes were, and they've all been harvested. So and put in bags at this point in time. Oh, there's still a few that I've missed, but these ones are now going to be fertilizer for next year if we don't get any voluntary potatoes out of them. Yesterday I harvested the cabbages, and we're going to be looking at putting them together. So cauliflower and white cabbage essentially is what was here, and that is going to be put into the freezer and or eaten fresh. This is kale, two different kinds of kale, and it'll be good. It's pretty hardy. It withstands a little bit of frost. I've harvested kale well into November, December with no huge issues whatsoever. So we'll be looking to get fresh kale out of the garden for quite a while to come. Here we've got zucchinis. Our zucchinis are still growing. You can see one there, a small one. I just harvested a bigger one yesterday. Don't see any more there, but there's lots of flowers still on those plants too. And I think there's another one over here somewhere. And there's a little zucchini that's coming. So mom and pop zucchini and all the little zucchinis. Oh, there's a nice one that's sitting right there. I don't know if you can see it with all the stripes on it. Nice colors on these zucchinis. And here are the two beds that we had used for carrots. Hope to grow carrots, and it ended up with all cabbage, or sorry, lamb's quarter essentially, and you can see it's starting to come through. These tarps we used last year, and they're starting to degrade, so we're going to have to replace them in a few weeks with other tarps that will be much more long-term kinds of tarping that we can use. Here are peppers. So this is a hot pepper, and you can see that there are a number of hot peppers. I harvested a few yesterday. There's a number still that are on here. We don't use too many hot peppers because only one of us like it. And these are green peppers, and I harvested about 3 large ones from this plant yesterday. There's another green pepper plant, and then this is a plant. I'll come, just a minute. And that's eggplant. I don't think we're going to get anything from it this year. This is where the onions were, and they've been harvested and stored away, dried. And here we have what's left over from the sunflowers. And we're going to put garlic into that row that's covered over by the tarp on the far side. All right, let's go see what the girls were up to.
Hi, Opa.
Hi, Esther. Oh, here are rhubarb plants that Patricia is going to harvest and cook up. So let's see what you guys done. So Tricia and Danielle and the girls have been planting some.
Planting here, girls.
Raspberry.
Raspberry.
You want to do a tour? Talk about what you've got.
Lilacs.
Some lilacs.
Lilacs here.
Raspberry plants.
Oh, nice going, Esther.
Yeah, watch where you are there. There's a raspberry right behind you. Oh no!
This might be a good spot for the next tree.
Look, that one is the best one.
Yeah, you like that one?
No, I actually did that one.
Why don't you do it on the grass?
Yeah.
I think this one here looks really, really healthy. You think it's going to grow well?
Yeah, that's not just one, it's two.
There's actually
Yeah, there's two there?
Yeah.
Wow.
You'll get berries next year. Did you know the ones grew this summer, the new ones came up and they were already berry?
Wow.
Yeah.
Good.
So we had the person with the backhoe through here this week, and he leveled this off so that we could put our raspberry plants in lilacs. And we actually put these plants you've seen before in previous ones, and so 3 of them seem to be doing okay. The one on the end, I'm not sure if it's going to make it. It had a bare root ball, so it's very possible that it is seeing its final season. Anyways, the other piles that we've had here are also taken away, leveled off, and I think it looks much more like there's something that's actually going to be done here in the very near future. So just signing off. Tomorrow morning I'm going to be taking a lot more videos of this space that is down here because hopefully there's a lot of activity occurring there. See you later.